Hello, welcome back to another video. It's Lydia here. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So I'm going to be doing a top 5 indie games that I have played this year in the year 2021. Now this is all completely subjective. This is all just games that I've played and that I've enjoyed. They've not necessarily been released this year. They're just ones that I happen to have played this year. But I just want to share with you games that I really enjoyed and that I would definitely recommend that you play as well. So without further ado, let's start the list. So game number 1 on my list is The Last Campfire. Now I played this earlier in the year and I really liked this game. It's very relaxing, it's got really relaxing music and the story is told through a female narrator and she's got a wonderful voice as well, and it's just told in a kind of storybook telling way, which I thought was a nice touch to it as well. Basically the premise of the story is that you're this traveller and you go through and you collect all these lost souls. The way you collect these lost souls is solving puzzles within the environment. There's different sets of worlds that have different themes as well. The puzzles aren't too challenging, pretty much you're just interacting with the environment and moving things a little bit. There was nothing in there that really stumped me, it's just sometimes they were a little bit awkward, but there was nothing really that made me frustrated or I felt was too hard. So it's a very relaxing game to play, and that's really why I put it on this list, is because I just thought it was really wonderfully told and it was something that I enjoyed coming to by the end of the day and just unwinding to. It's also an easy game to platinum if you're into that, so basically all you need to do is complete the game and like 1 or 2 extra things. So if you do like collecting the platinums for games, this is a good game for that as well. Number 2 on my list is Firewatch. Now this one's a little bit more well known. It got quite a few awards, I believe, and for good reason. It's a really excellently told story. Basically you walk around as your character and you're in this Firewatch tower and all you have is your walkie-talkie to talk to another woman on the other end of the line, and you have your map and compass, and basically there's various things that happen throughout the game and you have to find your way using only this physical map and compass. I really liked this aspect of it. I really enjoyed navigating the environment just using a map. I thought that was really unique, and also I really enjoyed the story and the scenery. It's really beautifully done. It's quite simplistic but it's really colourful and yeah, just really beautiful to explore and walk around. There's a few things that are a little bit puzzly but nothing too challenging, and I believe there are multiple ends to the story as well. I've only played it once, so I only got one, but I just thought it was really well done. The story is really engaging and I would definitely recommend playing it for at least the story and the navigating side of the gameplay too. The only thing I would add is that I played this game on the Switch. I really would not recommend buying it for the Switch. It was horrendously glitchy. If that is your only option, then it wasn't too bad. There was nothing too game breaking in it, but it was glitchy and the frame rate was quite bad for it as well, sometimes unplayably so. So if you do have the option of playing this on PC, I believe it's on PlayStation and Xbox as well, then I would recommend trying to get it on those platforms instead of the Switch. Number 3 on my list is Abzu. Abzu is quite a short game. I think it only took me 1 or 2 hours to play through. There's not a whole lot of depth to the gameplay. Basically you're swimming through this underwater world and you can discover various different fish, and you're basically just going on a one-directional journey. Now the thing that I really loved about this is the swimming mechanics are really nice and relaxing. The gameplay is just very chilled. There's nothing too scary or anything happening. There's nothing too vexing. You can just sit back and relax and enjoy this game in one evening, and that's what I really like about that as someone who works full-time as well and lives quite a busy life. It's really refreshing sometimes to play a game that is just short and easy and it's more about the story. Now there's no spoken dialogue in this game, it's all just told through the visuals, and then you have the music as well, and then there's various elements within the game that tell part of the story and the background of the world as well. It's just a really stunning game. It was really beautiful swimming through all these beautifully designed areas, and also swimming with all these fish and interacting with them as well was really nice, and yeah, I really do recommend it. It's got quite an interesting twist at the end of the story as well. So game number 4 on my list is Old Man's Journey. This one I picked mostly for the art style. It's really, really beautifully done. It's in a hand-drawn style and it's got some really beautiful colours in it. It's also got really nice music in it as well. The gameplay is really, really simple. Basically, it's a kind of simple puzzle game where you move the terrain around so that your character can navigate the terrain of the scene that you're in. It's not really that complicated, it's not particularly difficult. There may be 1 or 2 times where you get a little bit stuck, but it's really not that difficult at all. And I just thought it was a really beautiful way to tell the story and to play the game. It's almost like a visual novel, except you have that puzzle element. As far as I can remember, there's no spoken narration at all. There's not even really any text. You learn the story through photos that you find, and basically you go on this journey with this elderly man and find out his background a bit and why he's making this journey. I felt quite touched and moved by the end of the game, and it may or may not have made me cry a little bit. So for that reason, it made it onto my list. So game number 5 on my list is Oxenfree. Now this is a really interesting game. I actually only finished playing it a couple of days ago. It's not normally my type of game. It's a little bit creepy and it's kind of bordering a little bit on horror, at least a supernatural kind. There's no gore in it or anything though, so don't worry. It's a really interesting way of telling the story. Basically, you're walking around with your friends on this island and weird things start happening. And the way it tells the story and the way the dialogue's presented is really interesting and I really enjoyed it. There are multiple endings as well, or multiple routes and ways that you can play the story. And I thought the style of the game was really interesting as well. All the backgrounds are done in a hand-drawn style and then your characters are 3D. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought all the character designs were interesting and well written. The music is really, really good on this one. It's very creepy, so I would definitely recommend playing it for that. And it definitely has a really strong sense of atmosphere and it knows exactly what kind of game it is, and I just thought it worked really well. It's mostly just walking around and talking with your friends. There are a few small puzzle elements to it, but it's nothing particularly challenging. But it is a really interesting story and it kind of leaves you guessing a little bit as to what's actually going on. And now there is a sequel coming out to this game, so it's a good time to play it so that you can play the sequel as well. So yeah, that concludes my list of 5 indie games that I've played in 2021 that I think you should as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of the suggestions. Have you played any of the games? Let me know if you agree with them. And if you liked this video format, let me know in the comments and I will hopefully do more in the future as well. But for now guys, thank you so much for watching and I will see you all again later. Bye.